This video will be concerning how to create a calendar in Microsoft Word 2010 and then create a PDF file of that calendar and then email that calendar out to your friends and media outlets. So we're going to start by opening up Microsoft Word. Of course, we're assuming we've already got our calendar created, so we'll just put in April calendar. And we're not worried about spelling for a test, so let's say we got so-and-so band here, so-and-so band here, and we've got our calendar created. So once we've got our calendar created, we need to go up in the top left. We need to go to File. Then we need to go down to Print. Then once we're in Print, what we need to do is make sure and select on the printers. We need to drop this menu down by clicking on it and go down to PDF Creator. Left click on that. Now that we've got PDF Creator selected, we're going to hit Print again. Now what's going to happen is it's going to turn your document into a PDF file that nobody can edit. And up here in the top it wants you to name your document, so we're just going to call this April Calendar. And again, apologies for my spelling in our tutorial here. So we name our document. We're going to go down here in the bottom right and we're going to click on Save. Once we save that, the computer's going to come up and say, hey buddy, where do you want to save this? Right now it's going to the desktop, and it will go to the desktop as long as you don't change that. But should you lose that, you can always click on Desktop in your favorites here. And then you're going to come down here and make sure it's got the name you want, and we might even add a 2014 just to denote that. And then we're going to go down here to the bottom right and we're going to click Save. Okay, now our calendar is saved in a PDF format, but it is not saved in Microsoft Office, so we cannot edit it and call it back up. So what we're going to do here is, now that we're done typing out our calendar, we can come up to the little X in the top right and try and close out of Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word will say, hey, I haven't saved this yet, do you want to save it? You always want to save it so that you've got the raw material to be able to modify and edit this calendar. So it's going to automatically give it a name based on the first sentence on the document, and in our case it's April Calendar. So we're going to call this April Calendar 2014, and I'm just going to call it Testing for the purposes of our video. So we're going to name that. Just remember where that saves. That's saving in your Documents folder. So if you ever want to recall that and edit that, you're going to go into your Documents folder. So now we're going to save this. So now we've got an editable format that we can work with, and we've got an uneditable format that we can work with. And pay no attention to this HP thing that's just come up here. So now that we've got our calendar in PDF format, we're going to come down here to our little email client called EM Client. We're going to load him up, and it's going to load up our email. And it's loading up right now. Let me get rid of this HP window here, and again, disregard anything I do with the HP window. Alright, we're going to load up our email. Alright, so email's loaded. So now our email's loaded, we want to email this calendar out. So we're going to go up here to New, up in the top left. We're going to click on that. It's going to bring up our new email, then we need to go to our little paperclip guy and attach this sucker. And it's already on desktop, so that's where our file is, the PDF file. Remember, you want to email the PDF file. You don't want to email the Word doc, because the Word doc is editable. So here's our April Calendar 2014. It says Adobe Acrobat document. That's what we want. We're going to click on it, then we're going to click on Open. Now we can see at the attachment is here on our email, so we're going to send this out. So this is where you start typing in email addresses. And this one's auto-completed, so I'm just going to go ahead and click down here, and then we can type in our next one. We'll just add one more here. So we can start typing in our email addresses. Once we get our email addresses in, we are ready to do a subject line, so I'm just going to say Test Calendar. And then I'm going to come down here to our body, and I'm just going to say Test again. So now we're done attaching our calendar. We've created our calendar. We've turned it into a PDF, we've saved it as a Word document so we can edit it later on, and now we've attached it to an email. So now we're just going to hit Send, and out the door goes that calendar. So that calendar is now out to the basically the recipients that we put in our email. And that's basically it. Now a couple little things. If you want to go back and modify that calendar, you can always go down to your Start menu and then go to Documents. and then get to that calendar that you saved in the Microsoft Word format, which is editable. You can open that back up. You can modify that calendar, and then you can create a PDF again. When you do this, just so you don't confuse people receiving it on the other end, if it's, you might put April calendar revised and then a date or something. And basically, that's all there is to it. If you want to make a revision, make your revision, and then go back up to File. Then you'd go down to Print, and then you'd make sure to select your PDF creator. You would hit Print, and then you would just simply, when in the name part, you would put April Calendar 2014 and add a title like Revised, and then maybe the date you revised it on, 04/16/7, let's do 17/2014. That lets the people at the other end know that there was a change on that date. And then you just save that, save it to your desktop, and do the whole process all over again.